um at least I've showed you like how I fly, but believe me, it's really hard to pilot with one hand. I would prefer if someone would like take me from behind, but unfortunately there's no one here to do that. So the taking action of final report, which is what I'm presenting today, talks about I have presented evidence of my final outcome or product in the report. Okay, I just showed you that. Then I have explained why I chose to present my work in this way with reference to my goal and criteria is set. Okay, my goal was something like, oh, here it is. How can I become an expert on airplanes, aerodynamics, and any type of simulator program so that I can become a better pilot? Yeah, the last part about any type of simulator program, I'm not very sure. However, I have become an expert on technology and aerodynamics. I know which airplanes can do what and why, and why they work like that, why can they fly. I can relate them to physics. I can talk about any, well, not so much about any problems the airplane might have, but I know how to prevent them. Like if one of my engine is failing, I can know how to like I have the skill to land the airplane without burning myself up. Like I said, it talks about being in aerodynamics, and it also says that I need to relate with the criteria I set. The criteria was A, ability to fly a plane, and B, knowledge and understanding, which is part of my goal, right? So as you can see, well, I just said that it was pretty hard maneuvering the plane with one hand. So if you could see, the plane was a little bit, it wasn't very steady. If you watch the final product, you can clearly see that like I can pilot normally, like very well with two hands, not one, of course. And what's the other? And criterion B, knowledge and skills understanding involved with applying a flying plane. So yeah, the terminology, how it works, everything. I read literally a book which was like 100 pages long, only to understand criterion B. And when I got to the simulator, it wasn't exactly what I expected, because it was only about skill. And it used some of the terminology, but it was mostly about skill. However, I'm glad I learned the terminology, because sometimes I can, during my podcasts, I can talk about the things that happen to me relating with the terminology, right? But I know maybe you don't understand. You can just look it up and that's it. But I'm really glad that I understand, because sometimes when I talk to my uncle or interview him for whatever reason, I use terminology and he understands, and when he uses terminology, I understand. So it's a win-win for two of us. Okay, the second question. I have made reference to the global context I chose for this project and explained how presenting my work in this way responds to this. So, my global context is scientifical and technical innovation. Okay. I chose this fortunately because it was the only one that related in a way to my topic, because it is actually scientific innovation, the creation of planes, and it is scientific because about the terminology and how it works actually. That's all scientific. I chose to present my way like this because like I said, because it's scientific, like every plane has its own way, or yeah, way of flying. Like every, like, you can compare a small plane that uses turbines with a jet. You there are many differences, and you can identify them using like logical and scientific reasons. Like I don't know, maybe the plane doesn't have too much. No, the wings of a plane are too long, and then thus the plane can't do an angle of attack greater than, I don't know, 30 degrees. But it's mostly about the geometry of a plane and the power, the thrust it has. So I chose this way because, like I said, it demonstrated my variety of skills using different airplanes, and I knew how to maneuver them because it was logical and in some way scientific. Okay. I have given examples of specific times when I used develop my thinking skills during this process. Thinking was generally done, well, when I was done thinking, I suppose thinking was generally done during the research, because sometimes I came across a term I didn't understand and I was very confused, and I would generally go to my uncle, but I couldn't do that with every term I crossed. So I went and researched in the internet, and it popped up, and I said, "Oh, it works like this. Great. Okay, I understand." But sometimes it wasn't a term; it was sort of a problem that was happening, and even if I researched it, I didn't understand. So I had to think a lot and say, well, what could be something that using my scientifical and terminological language about the airplane, what do you think this is a problem? So I thought, and I just related the thing I didn't understand, the term, the phrase, to the things I already knew, and it was really amazing how I started being able to relate myself with the things I knew to get out the things I didn't know. And I think that's a really great way I have deepened my thinking skills. Maybe another way I have deepened my thinking skills is when I was flying, because I needed to go back to everything I've learned and then apply it in this thing that I'm learning now. And like I said, at first it was really hard, but then after I remembered everything that the book taught me, I started getting the hang of it. Okay, the second question, no, I'm sorry, one of the last questions is, I have given examples of specific times when I use communication and social skills during this process. Well, I don't know why I just said that question, because the truth is, I haven't used, like, the only time when I have used social skills is when I talked or when I interviewed my uncle, which I don't know if that actually is a communicator, because you're just talking to your uncle. But well, if you understand, maybe communication came when I had a deeper understanding of the terminology, and I could actually like talk to him, and we would understand like the things we were saying mutually. It wasn't like before that he told me something about the plane, and I was like, what the hell is that? Now I understand, and I think that my communication with an expert has improved. I was more open, like, to everything he said. I didn't need to ask him more than like look it up in the internet, something I didn't understand. So maybe in that way I have deepened my understanding of social skills during this process. So well, that's it. I hope you understood everything I said. Like I said before, if you didn't understand any of the things I said, like some of the terminology I used, just look it up in Google and you're gonna see a nice image that has the explanation on why this happens. Bye.